Welcome to the 911 Survival Guide. My name is Brett Batchelor, Training Coordinator here at NCT 911. Today we're going to be talking about being thankful, being grateful in these stressful jobs we call a career. So we're going to talk about gratitude, being thankful. It's an important thing that we have to do, especially in the field of public safety, specifically 911. The jobs that we have inherently deal with the worst parts of people's day. Someone doesn't call 911 because they are in a great mood, things are going great, and they want to interact with them. But rather, things have turned sideways, it's hit the fan, they need help, and we are there. Starting with that, dealing with that stress, gratitude is a great way. Focusing on the positive of it. No matter what job you do, you make an impact, but as a telecommunicator, even more so. You can have a bad call, a tough call, and things don't always go the way we would like them to. However, your impact on that person's life was exponentially positive. We were there in their time of need when they called us. We got them resources, sent out units, first responders, everything we could to try to help them. It's easy to dwell on the negative, but we need to be purposeful in thinking about that positive. Having that positive mindset, being grateful, is not just something good, but there's scientific research and information back on it. Having that gratitude, having those things, you're releasing chemicals, endorphins, all kind of things in your brain that's going to help regulate your stress, regulate how you're feeling, control all those crazy calls and emotions that we're feeling. And having that gratitude for yourself and your role and for your peers is only going to strengthen the bonds you have with your fellow coworkers, your first responders, and those in the dispatch center. It's crazy if you look at the professions that are the most stressful, most active professions. A lot of times there's a lot of bickering and some frustration between people because the letdown between those high-stress situations. You work so well together in that high-stress situation, and then you come down for it, and there's some stress and frustration. You're still dealing with all those high emotions. Being purposeful, being thankful, making those times to be able to be aware of those things to your peers, recognizing them is so important. Some of the tools for that is mindfulness of breathing. You know, something that I always get in trouble with my wife is anytime she doesn't feel good, I always ask her, "Have you had any water to drink today?" And she's like, "I've not had enough water," right? There's small things. As a kid, my mom would always ask us, "Have you had enough water? Have you gone to the bathroom?" The small things that we have in our lives, getting enough sleep, getting enough water, breathing. That's why breathing exercises are so good. These things that we have to survive. Breathing exercises, very simple. We've probably all done it at some point. Breathe in 4, hold for 4, let out for a count of 4. And while we're here, let's just take a minute, take 12 seconds, and let's see if we can do it. So we're going to breathe in a count of 4. Hold it. And then let it out slowly. Did you feel tired? Did you feel relaxed? What did that feel for you? Just take a minute. We have to take care of ourselves. We get busy. We keep running around, especially in the field of public safety as telecommunicators. You have to sacrifice your time because you're taking care of others. And sometimes we do that to our detriment. Just being aware of those things, being purposeful. Once the shift is over, you need to be able to have some self-reflection, to be able to separate what just happened as you reframe and refocus back to your everyday life. I went to an excellent conference down in Houston, the First Responders Conference about mental health and awareness. And they had very interesting stats. One of the stats they talked about as it was related to a police officer. On average, in the career of a police officer, they experience between 150 to 180 critical incidents, right? Jarring, traumatic incidents. On the average person, every day out there, they have 2 to 3 in their lifetime. And our peace officers have anywhere from 150 to 200 in their career. How do we quantify that as a telecommunicator? We are receiving so many more calls, moving so many more forward, and just ingesting so much information at such a high pace. It's important that we're aware of those things, be aware of that. At the end of that shift, be able to have that separation. Take off the uniform of a telecommunicator and focus back on being yourself. At the conference, we talked about a lot of things. Some people would do a certain routine, play a certain song, do something so your body knew, okay, I'm not in that stressful situation. At times when you're a telecommunicator on those calls, although you're not in that situation, because of the stress and everything, your body's going to be in that fight or flight mode. Being able to do something to let you know, okay, we're safe, body, disengage. We don't need all the adrenaline. We don't need all that. Woo, we're good. We have to be aware of that. Something we always talk about when we do SISM debriefs is we bring water for people to take a drink of water. It's like, why do I have a drink of water? Well, when you're in that heightened state and your body is ready in that fight or flight, one of the first things that shuts off is your digestive system. It's trying to get all your muscles, all your energy ready to fight. Well, if you do something as simple as take a drink of water, you re-engage that digestive system and your body goes, oh, okay, well, we're eating, we're drinking. Whew, all right, we must not be fighting somebody, right? We can start to rev the engine down, get back into an idle and calm down. So those things are really helpful. Something else with that is positive self-talk and affirmations. And these are kind of seen as, silly, self-affirmations. It's like, okay, all right, what's going on? But there's a lot of good stuff out there. I even heard the other day Snoop Dogg's got self-affirmations for kids that they're saying. It's so important that we digest emotionally, mentally, positive things. We hear those positive things. I've been reading through some books called The Four Agreements, and it talks about different things in your life, how you think, how you operate. I highly recommend them, The Four Agreements. One of them talks about as a kid, we are perfect, innocent, but as we get older and we move on, we start this pattern of negative self-talk. We talk negative, we would make a mistake. Oh, you're an idiot. Oh, I'm so dumb. We start this negative self-talk to ourselves so much so it becomes routine and we don't even realize it. But sometimes it comes to light is when somebody gives you a compliment. And I'm not naive. People are out there trying to be hustlers. But when somebody gives you a genuine compliment, what do? Do you appreciate it or do you go, no, that's not true. No. Because we've told ourselves all these negative things. Maybe that's not you. Maybe you're doing great. If you are, I appreciate it. I need you to give me a call because I was that person who was negative self-talk. I wanted to be I was a perfectionist, type A, firstborn. I had to be perfect in my mind. And if it wasn't, I was frustrated. But I'm working on being positive, not being negative. Because think about the way you're talking to yourself. Would you let anyone else talk to you that way? Would you want someone, your friend, your family to be spoken to that way? No. We need to be aware of that. Get those self-affirmations, those positive phrases. And it feels silly at first. I made a difference today. I'm doing a good job. My job is important. Those kind of small things are going to start reprogramming ourselves. And then we need to think about how we support not only ourselves, but each other. I talked about SISM, critical incident stress management. We have a group here that's about getting together and talking about things at a high level, just to be able to let you decompress. It's so important. As a telecommunicator, we're going from call to call to call. It can be very stressful, and there's no time to break. And other things, something bad happens, you get a reframe, you get a break, right? Think of it from a baseball perspective. If you were batting and you just struck out and you had to go sit back down and then you had to get right back up again, sometimes you need a break. Sometimes, you're feeling a little frustrated. We need to be able to take a transition and change, decompress. It's so important to have that peer support, whether it's something formal like a critical incident stress debriefing or just somebody to talk to. Having someone in the industry that's not in your call center that you can say, oh my goodness, Brett, it's been driving me crazy. Or, hey, I did this call, I did everything right, but I'm feeling very upset, right? We have to be, first off, very aware of what we're sharing, but we can talk about difficult calls. That's important. Having that support for someone else to give you a perspective can really help you regain your focus. And go out of your way to say thank you. Go out of your way to be appreciative. When I was a dispatcher on the floor, we had a employee of the month recognition. And I felt like my team deserved it. And whether I should have or should not have, what I did was every week I would submit somebody from my team. I was just flooding the ballot box, as it were, trying to get people out there. And what it started to do is wasn't just I wanted one of my peers to win. It started making me look for ways that they take care of me, ways that they helped me, those small things. When we think about things, it's the small things that make such a big difference that fill your cup. If somebody came and gave you $1 million, would it make you feel great? Yes, but that's not realistic. But if somebody came over and gave you, hey, I went to Starbucks and I got you a coffee, or hey, I thought about you and got you this, or hey, you know what, you're doing a great job. Those small things really can help change your perspective and regain some gratitude. There's an app that I've started using that helps with that gratitude mindset called Dailyo. You go in and you just pick a emotion for the day, all the way from rad or amazing to good, meh, and then it goes like bad and then terrible. You pick a little face and you can look back. Sometimes while we're in the midst of something, it feels like, everything's falling around, everything's so negative. But having something like the Dailyo app to look back and say, oh, well, you know what? Actually, that was pretty great. This one thing was bad, but these other things really worked out well. Being able to think about those things, reframe those negative things that happen is so important. There are different techniques, whether it's you get off shift and you change your clothes, you think about the 5 things you've done that day, you keep a journal, find something that works for you. But also set boundaries in your personal life. Be able to take that self-care that's not selfish, be able to have those people you can speak to. It's okay to say no. If it's something extra, take the time, start building those positive habits into your day-to-day life. Find something to help you wind down, whether that's video games, you go for a walk, a run, you watch your same show. Do something that your body knows, all right, we're winding down, we're safe, everything's going positively. I worked nights most of my career, and when I got off work and got home and it was about 7, it was hard to go to sleep. Everybody was up, everybody was loud, the lights are on. It was really hard to decompress. I didn't have a good process at first. I would watch TV or play games, and then hours have gone by, and oh my gosh, I'm going to even be more tired. Get some routines that's going to help you with that. So as we're wrapping up our discussion about gratitude, just again, it's going to be a lot about mental health, but also that physical health. Find ways to see the bright side of things, the positive things. You have the choice of what you're thinking, how you're feeling. If you're feeling sad, that's fine, feel sad. But don't continue to feel down. Choose to feel better. Find ways to go out of your way to recognize your peers, your colleagues. People may not remember what you did, but people remember how you made them feel. They'll remember when you were there for you, and that's so important, especially as a dispatcher or telecommunicator. Those people that work with you become not only your colleagues, but your family, and y'all are working together to help save and protect other families when they call. Having that good communication, that positivity, that gratitude is so important. So thank you all. I am grateful for all of you for what you do, getting up every day and doing this very difficult job. I don't get to do it every day, but I loved it when I did, and it's so important that we have people that are willing to sacrifice for that. Take the time to recognize each other and realize what a difference you're making. This has been the 911 Survival Guide, and until next time, stay safe out there, and we'll catch you next time.